Exactly is HTML? Well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a language which makes it possible to present information on the internet via a web browser. As I mentioned, HTML is the predominant markup language for describing web pages. Hypertext markup language allows for text such as headings, paragraphs, lists, and more, as well as for links, quotes, and other items such as images, video, and objects to be embedded on a web page. These elements can also be used to create interactive forms. Now, what you see when you view a web page on the internet is your browser's interpretation of the HTML. To see the actual HTML code of a page, simply click on the View Source or Page Source in your browser, and that'll open up a window that will show you the HTML code as it will be interpreted by the browser. Let me further describe each term in the HTML abbreviation. Hyper is the opposite of linear. In the early days, computer programs ran in a linear fashion. The program would be executed one line at a time and in a specific order. First line ran first, then the second line, and so on. But HTML is different. You can go wherever you want and whenever you want in whatever order you want. For example, it's not necessary to visit google.com before you visit wikipedia.org. The text is a bit self-explanatory. The language is written all in text characters, but it's also the original version only dealt with text. Later images were added, and then audio, and the later versions of HTML also included video, the possibility of video playback. Markup is what you do with the text. You're marking up the text the same way you do in a text editing program with headings, bullets, and bold text, and so on. Language is a useful term here because HTML actually uses many English words. HTML was actually invented in 1990 by scientist Tim Berners-Lee. Its original purpose was to make it easier for scientists at different universities to gain access to each other's research documents and data. The project became a bigger success than Tim Berners-Lee ever had imagined. By inventing HTML, he laid the foundation for the web as we know it today. One of the big reasons for HTML's success is that it's platform independent, meaning that it can be written and viewed on any type of computer, Windows, Mac, Unix, Linux, whatever. Another reason is that HTML is very simple to write and simple to learn. HTML is actually not a programming language, but as its name implies, a markup language. A user need not be an expert programmer to make use of HTML for creating hypertext documents that can be put on the internet. Markup languages use a set of markup tags to describe or instruct. HTML is written in elements consisting of tags surrounded by angle brackets within the web page content. You can see examples of these tags in this page source that I'm viewing here in Firefox. Notice that there is a style tag. Here is another style tag here. Here's a head, closing head tag, center tag, and so on. Now, to add functionality, HTML can also include and load scripts in languages such as JavaScript, which affect the behavior of HTML processors like web browsers. Can also use cascading style sheets, abbreviated CSS, to define the appearance and layout of text and other material. Much more about each of these topics a bit later in the course, but right now let me move on to the next movie and describe more details about this course and what you'll need in order to start writing your own web pages using HTML.